Okay.
Well, thank you.
Good evening. It is 7:05 p.m. and I hereby call to order the August 2020 meeting of the Village of Tivoli Board of Trustees. Would you please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. We'll begin with a Village Clerks Report. Clerk Bruno, please.
Yes, there were a lot of trash tags sold, 546. 2 payrolls were processed. Laura Gale, our deputy clerk, continues to work remotely and in the office, and she's continued to hold meetings for both the planning and zoning boards here in Village Hall. At this point, cleanup day is still on hold, and if anything happens with the private refuse company that was hired in the past, it can be rescheduled, but nothing yet. Regarding village elections coming up Tuesday, September 15th, they will be noon to 9 at the firehouse. Friday, September 4th is the last day that an individual can register with the Board of Elections, Dutchess County Board of Elections, in order to be eligible to vote in our village elections. Absentee ballot applications are available in the clerk's office. The last day that an absentee ballot application can be received by the clerk in the mail is actually September 7th, which is a holiday. The clerk's office will be closed that day, that is Labor Day. But the last day that they can go out in the mail is the 8th. So we will retrieve any first thing that morning, and then they will go out in the mail. Up until Monday, the 14th, September 14th, a voter may come personally to the office to pick up an application, and at that point, we will exchange. They'll give the application, and we will provide the ballot.
The absentee ballot.
Correct. And just to reiterate that the office will be closed on Monday, September 7th, in observance of Labor Day.
Thank you, Clerk Bruno. Okay, we have minutes from 2 previous meetings, the July 8th workshop and the July 15th regular meeting. On July 8th, we did those 2 senior exemption tax resolutions, and we've had a chance to look at these minutes. Is there a motion to accept both sets of minutes?
So moved.
Okay, sorry.
That's so moved.
Trustee Schneider, and the second, Trustee Cole. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Minutes are accepted. Here's the treasurer's report. Out of the general fund this month, $319,338.30, and out of our capital fund, $64,828.74, for a grand total of $384,167.04. Might sound a little high to people who pay careful attention to our monthly spending, and the reason is, inside of those expenditures is the new power stretcher, $35,000 and change, the new ambulance, which we expect to be ready in September, should be parked in our rebuilt firehouse shortly. That was $237,000. And interestingly, that came in just a little under the original estimate. There was something with the chassis that they used in the build. It came in about $3,000 less than we had actually authorized. And we had a $64,000, $828 payment to the Water Authority. This is EFC money coming through the village over to the authority related to the water tower construction. So that's how we got to these, the big numbers. So again, the total was $384,167.04. Is there a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
Moved.
That was the deputy mayor. Is there a second?
Second.
Trustee Cole. All in favor?
Aye.
And is there a motion to pay the bills?
So moved.
Trustee Israedi, seconded by the deputy mayor. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. bills may be paid. I know we got a zoning report, didn't make it in the binder, right? But I have it here.
Well, oh, did you get it?
I got an email, yeah, did he send it to you?
I got a municipal search.
Let me see, I think that might happen. We've been chasing our building inspector to get our monthly reports, and I called him earlier today.
Was it after 3?
Let me take a look here.
Unless he resent it, because I did respond and told him this is a search, not the actual report.
Oh, well, that may have in fact happened.
You could see in the title of the actual attachment, it might say Muni search.
Okay. There you go. Possible, yeah, so in his haste to comply with my demand for the report, he sent the wrong thing, so.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, we go. All right, we will try and do better for next month, again. At this time, we would normally entertain public comment on agenda items. We don't have members of the public here tonight, and I didn't say this at the beginning, but we are meeting in person. We are at a distance with our masks. We are allowed to have a total of 25 people in this room. It's a great time that Panda films these things so that people can know what we're doing. We're trying to keep everybody safe, so. Moving into regular business, we have one budget modification. We're still early in the fiscal year, which started June 1, but we like to do these as we go. We have 2 grants that we are inside of currently. That's both community development block grants. It was $40,000 for the crosswalks and $70,000 for the village park improvements. Crosswalks are being constructed as we speak. The park grant is still in the design phase, but we have incurred costs on both of those, and so this budget mod is to offset engineering invoices with due from other governments, which is our revenue line where we put incoming grant money. Is there a motion to adopt the budget mod?
So moved. Second.
That was Cole, followed by Major. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye. When do you expect the crosswalks to be completed?
I was told today that painting should be Monday.
Okay.
It's not the first time I've been told something and the paint doesn't show up, but fingers crossed. We haven't.
And the issue with the road being properly,
Yes, we had the contractor take a second crack at doing one section where the original asphalt job wasn't quite up to snuff. I think
and he did that?
it's definitely satisfactory now.
Okay,
So
good.
we're looking forward to having those finished. Our next board meeting will be held Wednesday, September 16th, here at Watts de Peister Hall. We have a workshop at 6 and the meeting at 7.
So that will be the day after the election?
That is correct, yes.
Okay.
And then we have a workshop on September 9th at 7 p.m. We have been having our workshops outside. Our friends at the American Legion have been letting us use their pavilion again so we can really space out and have the air circulation. So I want to thank those gentlemen for sharing their space with us. And unless it's freezing cold or pouring rain, we'll probably be there for the workshop. So with the election, that means that in October will be our reorg.
Yes.
So we'll need to start planning that. That's all things that normally happen in April. So we are supposed to have a reorganizational meeting in the first full month after the election. So
So we'll order cake?
we will order cake, yes.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see how we do that. But,
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe little cakes, individual.
Cupcakes.
Outside.
Yeah, all right, so committee reports, it's a light meeting. Trustee Israedi, is there anything you'd like to add? Perhaps?
Okay,
LoSAP?
the LoSAP, I've submitted to the mayor and the village attorney the request to modify the point system for LoSAP, and we are now going through a process of figuring out the appropriate resolution and whether we will use the resolution provided by Ken Flex. The basic purpose of this is to, since the COVID crisis limits the number of meetings that can occur in the firehouse and has stopped training sessions for the firefighters, they are unable to earn the points that they would otherwise earn. And so Governor Cuomo signed a bill that was sent through the New York State Senate to permit a 6-month period during which points could be earned by active firefighters without the obligation to do either meetings or training. In addition to that, on solid waste, we have initiated the Tivoli Trash Committee, and that is populated by John Corcoran, Phyllis Palmer, Peter Walsh, myself. There's been requests to add one more person to it, so I will be working on that. It's been an interesting meeting. We talked about the issues related to our DPW workers picking up trash versus commercial haulers, the number of commercial haulers in the village, and other issues. And I got a very winsome email from Phyllis Palmer, who is very nostalgic about the existing system. It's amazing. People who really get into recycling get almost a spiritual connection to it. And when we talked about alternative solutions, she talked about how much she would miss washing out her glass jars and removing the labels. And it shows just a different side of things. I found it wonderful and poignant, and it's a good committee, and we're moving forward with it.
Great, so they will develop some recommendations for the village board?
Yes.
Wonderful, thank you. Trustee Schneider?
As always, my thanks to Court Clerk McGarry for putting together the Tivoli Village Clerk Charge Volume Summary Report for the month of July. Charges received total 3, charges disposed total 3. $368 was collected and remitted to the state comptroller.
Thank you. Trustee Cole?
Nothing to report this evening. I'll just say what I say every month, just the friendly reminder, my pet peeve, as it were. When you walk your dogs, please pick up after your dogs. We got a lot of folks in the village right now, and a lot of people and a lot of folks on our streets. So when you're out there, pick up after your dog. Big kudos to all Tivolians who are out there and maintaining the social distance of 6 feet apart. And if you're not able to do that, please wear your mask, and let's all stay healthy and stay together. And that's all for tonight.
Thank you, Trustee Cole. Deputy Mayor Major?
Well, I'm going to plug the Tivoli Library. As always, they have expanded their hours, so they're actually open Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 10 to 4, Tuesday and Thursday 12 to 6, and on Saturdays from 10 to 2. And that's open, but with a limited number of people inside and masked and safe and all that. And also curbside pickup is available, so you can call ahead for that. For now, the regular programs are still suspended, so you got to friend Miss Penny on Facebook if you want to see her, and if you want to read to a dog, mine are available. The historic sites are, the mansions are closed, but you can still go and walk around at Claremont. You can walk around at Montgomery Place, and both are beautiful right now. So get out there and enjoy it. And there's been a lot of activity in the bays lately with the Empire State Trail coming through. But don't be deterred by the heavy equipment that is sometimes blocking the road. Just go on in there. It's lovely as ever. And the ticks don't care. So as always, check yourself.
Thank you, Emily. I have a short list here. The tree committee is going to reconvene in September. We're excited about that. We have trees to plant along Pine Street now that the new sidewalk and the bioswales there. We did remove a few trees as part of that project, and this October we will be planting 3 trees along Pine Street. Sadly, we lost one of our 2 purple robe locusts in the near hurricane tropical storm the other week. We had 2 nice ones that were planted 4 years ago perhaps, and we're doing really well, we're growing, and one of them just broke right off at about 3 feet. Really sad for the committee. So we will talk about what we're going to do there, if we're going to replace that one or whatnot. The water tower is moving forward. There are some large pieces of steel up at McKnight now. We should really see the erection happening now, piece by piece. One very sweet thing I'm trying to organize, stay tuned, trying to set up some sort of a field trip for Tivoli children to the water tower site while it's being constructed. I'm talking with the contractor about how to do that and keep it safe under construction and safe under COVID. We may have a few periods when small groups come, but I think, this only happens basically once in everyone's lifetime that Tivoli makes a water tower. So look for some announcements about that, and a lot of the young people are pretty curious about watching this thing go up. So while we're on water, everyone on that side of the village knows we've had some real problems the last 2 days. Very unfortunate. There is a cluster of valves in the middle of the development, sort of on Lothrop and Memorial. They're all the same age. One of them failed several days ago. Les, who operates the water system, noticed the tank was losing pressure. Then you have to go around and find out where are we losing water. Eventually he found that. So this important valve in that location had to be changed. Water service was off for quite a few hours yesterday to the entire development, Tivoli Gardens, Woods Road. And as we have seen over the years, when you tinker with one part of the system, sometimes something breaks somewhere else. And that's exactly what happened, because we thought we got through that. The next day, today, this morning, the next door neighbor to that valve was leaking. So that got changed today. So everyone keep our fingers crossed. The tank is refilling. Pressure's good. Hopefully we will not have any of that for a while. As far as the long-term picture, we had a meeting earlier this evening with Bridget Barkley, the Executive Director of the Dutchess County Water and Wastewater Authority, who is reporting to the Village Board about the bids that have come in for the water distribution portion of the water project. So there's storage, which is the tower, there's source, which is the wells, and there's distribution, which are the pipes. And so they do have, they got 7 bids, and it will go with the lowest responsible bidder. That's going to be a water main, which is going to be all related to the new tower, changing some diameters, since that's going to be the storage location. It'll run all the way along Broadway and up Woods Road. So that's sort of the next big thing that will be going on in the village after the water tower is complete. I want to let everyone know that the village board has been working hard and nonstop on continuing the community conversation that we started with our listening session in late June. Many residents have been emailing or meeting and speaking with us ever since on that, and we have something taking form, which is going to be a community dialogue session. The exact date isn't quite pinned down, but it's going to be in early September, maybe the second week of September. It will be a slightly different format than the listening session. The board is going to sort of start, lead, speak, present some ideas that we've been developing, and share them with the community, and see if folks think they're good ideas or if there are other ideas. So look out for that. I expect the formal invitation. It will be a virtual meeting like the listening session because we want to be able to accommodate as many people as possible. I expect that invitation should be out by the end of next week. I just want to repeat what the clerk started with about how the village election is going to work this year. So Robin, if I get any of these details wrong, speak up. But normally the village election would have been in March. It got postponed twice by the governor due to the pandemic. We are still a go for September 15th. It will be at the newly reconstructed firehouse from noon to 9 p.m. You can still register to be a Tivoli voter up until September 4th with the Dutchess County Board of Elections. There are two ways you can acquire an absentee ballot if you'd rather vote by mail, which may not be a bad idea. So, if you're comfortable coming to the firehouse and voting in person, it will be, spaced and masks, and our inspectors will be behaving accordingly. But if you'd be more comfortable with an absentee ballot, or you're actually going to be away, the original reason for an absentee ballot, you can send us a self-addressed stamped envelope until September 7th, Labor Day, and request a ballot. And there's some paperwork they have to fill out.
There's an actual application.
There's an
For
application.
the ballot.
So then the application will go back to them on the 8th? Or they have to get the application in first and the ballot goes back on the 8th?
Right,
Okay.
right. And because they can download it right off of the internet. It's just, we typically use just a generic kind of New York State.
Okay, so
Absentee
yeah,
ballot.
so if you want an absentee ballot, get that form off the internet, fill it out, send it in to us by the 7th of September. We will send you your absentee ballot. Anytime between now and the 14th, you can come to the clerk's office during our current hours, which are Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 to 4, and do the same thing in person, wear your mask, and we will give you an absentee ballot.
Right, because I have the application, so they could actually complete it, sign it, date it, and they could, do it right outside in the hallway.
Great.
And then once they return it to us, we can give them an absentee ballot.
Yes, and we have 2 seats on the village board, and the village justice are what we're voting on September 15th. And thank you to our election inspectors who are doing their civic duty
Absolutely, yeah.
despite current conditions. I want to close with something that I'm personally very excited about, which is we will be bringing back the noon whistle, the Tivoli siren. This is something that would not be happening without the zeal and drive of our fabulous fire chief, Mark Hildenbrand. Anyone who's been around Tivoli longer than 10 years used to hear every day at noon a whistle, a siren that was at the top of this building. From the little research I've done, that went on every day at noon since at least the 50s, possibly even the 1940s. And of course, before cell phones and electronic alerts, that was how our volunteer firefighters knew to get to the firehouse and do their job. So about 10 years ago, the electronics on that old thing went, and things get busy around here, so it's been a long time. But with Mark's help, Mark and I have gotten around to getting some bids, talking to some vendors, and we've selected the lowest bidder. So those electronics are getting rebuilt, and the idea, it is, for those of us, many of us, it's charming, it's nostalgic. It was a nice bit of small village character to hear that every day at noon. However, it really is a public safety amenity, which we haven't had for 10 years, frankly. So it will have a daily whistle at noon, and then they'll have 2 other tones. One tone will indicate a structure fire. It's not going to go off for every time the fire department goes out the village, otherwise it'll be ringing 3 times a day. But if there's a structure fire in the area, it'll have a certain blast. And if there is a severe weather event, tornado, hurricane, something like that, that will have a distinct and different blast. So when we have it all set up, we'll probably do sort of a public announcement and say, today we're going to let you all hear what these blasts sound like, but there's not a tornado rushing at a burning building today. So everyone can familiarize themselves with what they sound like, and then we will have both that, I know it won't be true for everyone, but for me, charming noon whistle, but more importantly, the capacity to help keep everyone safe if we face something as severe as that. So siren will be back soon. And with that, is there anything else from the
Actually,
board?
before we close, I'm wondering if you could take a minute to just give some recognition to Anna Marcotte for her Girl
Yes.
Scout Gold project.
Thank you, yes. Many of you watched an email I sent out earlier in the week. Tivoli's own Anna Marcotte did a lovely project for her Girl Scout Gold project. Up on North Road, halfway up the street, on your right, you may have seen a large block. It's actually a block of granite. And that is a cornerstone to the, or is it a marker?
It was just a monument.
Just a monument to the Watts DePeister Industrial Home and School for Girls, which was built by James Starr Clark and later bought by the DePeister?
Yes, it was built as the Trinity School grew, and then hard times around 1893. Between 1893 and 1897, I believe, caused the Trinity School to close, and DePeister bought it and turned it into, an industrial home, which was basically they taught young girls. It was advertised for orphans and half orphans, and taught them how to be maids. And it operated, I believe, up until the 30s on the old Trinity School campus.
Right, and so built by James Starr Clark, who was the first president of the village of Tivoli, back when my job was called president, and then purchased by a rival of his, right? I mean,
Probably nemesis.
Nemesis, stronger than rival.
It was a
Nemesis.
spite purchase.
And of course, the spite purchase resulting in the industrial home. Well, maybe I'll let Anna's video tell you the rest of the story,
Yeah.
right, about who these people were. So Anna did a lovely project. I'm pleased the village and our DPW were able to assist getting some big stones over there. And she put out, not only did she build this little park approach to this historic marker, she also produced a nice 4.5-minute video telling about the home, DePeister, and her own project. So that's been sent around, and I believe we're going to work to maybe get it in the hands of Panda to continue pushing this out to the world. So yes, congratulations and thank you to Anna Marcotte for a job well done. Promoting and, what's my word?
Contextualizing a little corner of Tivoli.
Yes, yes, Tivoli history. Anything else from the board? Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll move.
Second.
Okay, that was Deputy Mayor, followed by Trustee Schneider. All in favor?
Aye.
7:34. Thank you all very much.